Hello, Nick Anderson here, proud member of the fake news media, and I am doing another Trump cartoon, which seems to be one of the more popular themes, as you can imagine. I'm doing one on his idiotic rant yesterday about Mueller's team, the FBI raid on his lawyer, which was conducted by almost exclusively Republicans, but he's trying to act like it's a witch hunt by Democrats. Mueller's a Republican, the U.S. Attorney for New York is a Republican, the judge, I believe, is a Trump appointee, Rod Rosenstein is a Republican. This whole thing is being overseen by Republicans. And this guy is saying, he keeps hinting he should fire Mueller. He said many people have said I should fire Mueller, so I have him surrounded by mirrors, and of course in each mirror there's going to be his image, and he's such a narcissist. This works on a couple of different levels, because I'm sure he has lots of mirrors where he loves to stare at himself because he's so pretty. So I have the opportunity here to draw his little hand. Tiny little hand which he bragged about in a debate. He actually essentially talked about his dick size in a debate and still got elected President of the United States. What is wrong with this country? Should have been game over then. Should have been game over when he mocked that disabled reporter. But there is something seriously wrong with our country. When you can mock a disabled reporter and still get elected, when you can do all the nonsensical things he's done and still get elected, there is something seriously wrong. This man is not fit to hold the highest office in the land. Not because, and he is totally corrupt. We've had presidents who are a little corrupt before, but because he's completely psychologically unfit. The man is unstable, completely unstable. Unfortunately, that seems to be okay with about a third of our country. He's successfully gaslighting a lot of our populace. If you don't know what that is, you should. Especially by now. The hand might actually be too big. So I like drawing Trump. I kind of draw him hunched over like this, kind of make him look oafish. The eyebrows always sort of blend in with the hair. It's kind of hard to tell where they stop and where his hair starts. His nose isn't quite that pointy. So, working in layers here, as you can see. I got CNN on in the background. Hopefully that won't be too loud. See, I've got a little bit of the drawing. I got too many layers on. I got the original sketch. See, I went through several versions here. I'll turn this off so you can see. That was my original sketch. It was, let me turn this down. I have the fake news on, and since I'm a member of the fake news media, I gotta watch the fake news. So the original sketch, a little messy. I kind of like the perspective, but I decided I wanted to make Trump a little bit more of a focus and to make him larger as a percentage of the scale of the cartoon. So I made him bigger. This version of him I did not like. It just didn't quite, I didn't like the perspective, so this is the one I ended up with. And I had to update my computer for a little bit, so I ended up drawing on paper because my computer wasn't working. So I don't draw on paper very often, but I was just practicing my sketch because my computer had to take about 30 minutes to update, so I was working on that for a while. So I kind of, you can see, kind of close to what I drew on paper. I kind of miss drawing on paper. This little divot here, the lapel, is just too distracting. There. It's distracting too much. Now I need to go in and put these, I'm going to bring down the opacity on that. I'm going to have to draw several Trumps for this cartoon because each image in the mirror is going to be a different angle on him. So I have to torture myself and draw him 1, 2, 3, 4.5 times today. Yay! And I have to draw him from the back, which I'm not used to doing. So those ones might not look as good. And that's too strong. I'm experimenting more lately with doing more subtle line work and a little bit more relying on the color work. I think it's a little bit more contemporary looking, less cross-hatching, more painting. So I also want to, as I do this, when I finish the final, I will make this line in the background in Photoshop. I'm going to make that a lighter shade. Right now it's the same value. It's not the same thickness, but it's the same value as this line in front of it. But I'm going to make that gray so that it looks like it, so you move the eye around, so that it sort of fades into the background a little bit. Because our eye detects depth by shades of darkness. That's what the darkest tends to move, we perceive as in the foreground. So these mirrors have to be a little bit lighter. And that's one of the nice things about using Photoshop and color, is you can do that more easily than when I was just drawing line art on paper. I used to do that, have to do that by using thinner lines back in the day. I'd like to get to the point where I'm not doing any line art at all. However, I still have my cartoons running in about 150 papers, and you have reproduction issues in newspapers. These run in grayscale, which is fine, but if you don't have some kind of bold line, you can have readability issues. It can look kind of smudged and hard to read. So it's nice to have at least a little bit of line work to give it some definition, but I want to rely on it less moving forward. So I may be evolving my style. I always try to keep my style dynamic and moving along a little bit so I don't get bored. There are times that I get bored. I've been doing this since I was 10 years old. It was a long time ago. So I try to do things, change things up to keep myself from getting bored. Anyway, I will come back and videotape the color part of this. I don't want to keep this too long. I will create another video of the digital painting. Well, I think that's coming along alright. I don't know if I like the way the words are separated so much. I may have to, let's see, probably create a balloon and do something like that. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, tune in for the next video and I'll let you know how this ended up. Thank you. And